The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Wicked Weed Studios, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is Brian Haynes, and this is the Tennessee Titans 3-round mock draft. One of the only teams we've done in seemingly 2 weeks that doesn't have an unsettled quarterback position. The Tennessee Titans are obviously set with Ryan Tannehill. They lost some players in the offseason with Corey Davis going to the Jets, Adoree Jackson to the Giants. Brian, if you were the Titans, what would you be looking to do at number 22?
I would think they need wide receiver help 100% after losing Corey Davis. After that, they need defense. These guys were like Swiss cheese. It seemed like every single game they were in it. Scoring touchdowns, being in the game, and then all of a sudden they would just get blown out at the end, losing games like 42-35 and things like that. It was absolutely crazy. They need secondary help 100%. And not to mention that they did not get one single bit of pass rush the entire season. It seemed like they thought Jadeveon Clowney might be able to help with that, and wah.
Jadeveon Clowney, the Kim Kardashian of the NFL. With the 22nd pick, the Tennessee Titans select Elijah Moore, the wide receiver out of Ole Miss. This is a guy I've been on for a really long time. It seems like the rest of the industry is catching up to me. This is a high-end slot guy. I think he can pair very nicely with A.J. Brown. He's a tactician running routes. A lot of people say, oh, he ran a rudimentary route tree. That's fine. He did what he was asked to do, and he did it at a very high level.
Yeah, first-team All-American. He broke A.J. Brown's single-season record at Ole Miss. The familiarity with A.J. Brown, I think, will help tremendously. He excels in those sluggo routes, the comeback routes. He's really good. He does have a little bit of trouble with taller defenders, but the stat sheet and the tape prove where this guy is. I think he's been shooting up boards lately, and he is going to be definitely drafted in the first round 100%.
He is ignorantly fast. You pair him with A.J. Brown, the mixture of play action with Derrick Henry, I think he can actually partially make up for the loss of Jonnu Smith because he does like to work over the middle. With the 53rd pick in the second round, I have him taking Tyson Campbell, the corner out of Georgia. This is a physical corner. He's not a ball hawk. He's just a really solid corner. He's a little light to me at 185, but I do think he can add bulk to the frame, and it's not going to slow him down tremendously.
I've watched more and more on this kid, and the more and more I do see him, I see him gaining up into that top 5 cornerbacks in this draft. He's physical. He excels in man coverage. I've seen him do things lately that I hadn't seen on tape originally that just kind of jumped out of screen at me. He does need to improve his ball tracking on some of the deep balls, but he can do just about everything you're asking him to do.
He's a fantastic tackler, too. Something that Adoree Jackson was crucified for.
Right.
And he tends to stay healthy.
That's another
thing. An improvement over Adoree Jackson in 2 different ways.
That's a good thing.
With the 80, 90-something 5th pick in the third round, numbers on that screen.
85th pick.
85.
Yep.
I have him taking another Georgia Bulldog, offensive guard Ben Cleveland.
Ben Cleveland is a gigantic human being. He is 6'6" and 343 pounds. I'm talking about a giant man. He's big and powerful, and he's pro-ready right now. He attacks blockers with extreme force. He does have stiff knees and slow feet, but I think this is going to be a guard in the league for a very, very long time.
I agree, and he, to me, fits what the Titans do. This is a guy that's going to open holes in the run game. He's going to get after you. Like Brian said, he is a gigantic human being, and I just feel like this is a spot on the line that at the tail end of the third round, you can add a guy that's going to be a starter for you for many, many years to come. Their latter third-round pick, I have them taking Josh Palmer out of Tennessee. This is a guy that I cannot get a great read on. Brian, give your take on him, and I'll tell you what I think about him.
Palmer was hurt by inconsistency at quarterback by Tennessee. They didn't really have a solid quarterback there for him. 70% of his catches were for first downs, but he doesn't jump out of the board. His stat line doesn't match, I think, the production that he can do. He didn't have very many 100-yard gains. I don't think he didn't even have 500 yards in the season. But with that being said, I think this is a guy that is still learning to play the position, and he's doing I think getting into a system like this with Ryan Tannehill, and I think he's going to improve what he needs to do. But I think he was a little bit he's been overlooked because there wasn't consistency at quarterback at Tennessee.
I agree. He's not a super shifty guy. He doesn't get open well. He's very much a one-cut receiver. But I think he can do that very, very well. He's got a good body at 6'1", 210. He's not a double move kind of receiver, but I think he can play that Corey Davis role. The thing that makes me nervous is that I don't know that he can be as good of a blocker as Corey Davis was.
Right.
Corey Davis is a tremendous blocker for a wide receiver, and I've kind of figured out the Titans need that on the outside with how often they run and how often they run play action. That would really be my only knock on him. This is a kid that I think has a lot of untapped potential, and I'm basing this off what I see taking the ball out of the air. When I watch him run routes, and I don't care where the ball lands, I don't care if he catches it. I watch him one-on-one with the corner. I see a kid that I think could be a steal in the third round. The grades on him are all over the place. Some people see him going at the end of round 2. Some have him lasting well into day 3. I don't. I think he's going to go somewhere in this general vicinity. And another thing you have to remember, schools that are close to NFL franchises have specific scouts that have watched these guys. And I'll bet you the Tennessee level scout for the Tennessee Titans has seen this guy enough and probably feels pretty comfortable with the talent.
Absolutely.
This has been the Sportsocracy's Tennessee Titans 3-round mock draft. He's Brian Haynes. I'm Jeremy Greene. Make sure to click the beer icon in the bottom right-hand corner so you'll know every time we go live, including weekdays, 9 a.m. right here in the Sportsocracy. You'll also be able to see all of our team-by-team mock drafts and all of our team-specific videos all the way up until draft night, where we will be live in the Wicked Weed Studios for every pick of the 2021 NFL Draft as they happen. For Brian Haynes, I'm Jeremy Greene, brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different.